Have you ever reached a point where you feel like you're not discovering new music anymore? You've listened to your favourite albums hundreds of times and Spotify is just chucking out the same suggestions you've already heard. Maybe you tried using features like Spotify Radio, found a gem of a song that you think you're the first to uncover and then realise that actually millions of people are just listening. Or maybe you're just in a rut and hungry to find new music. Trust me, I've been there. Well, in this video, I'm going to outline 3 ways that you can discover new music without the help of algorithms. I'm not hating on algorithms. Ultimately, algorithms are what fuel a lot of our choices and make life and listening to music so much easier. However, I believe, particularly when it's stuck in a rut with music, a great way to break out of this is by taking ownership over your own decisions. There is nothing more rewarding than going on a journey of music discovery and finding an absolute gem of a song that fits your favourite playlist. This music journey could be one of the most thrilling and rewarding experiences, and I believe it should happen of your own accord. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Tip number 1 is to listen to music-focused radio stations. In the world today, radio stations are becoming somewhat redundant, with the music we want to listen to being available on demand at the touch of a button. In fact, some people watching this video might have not switched on the radio in years. But if you're someone that has a deep desire to stay on the cutting edge of music, then by avoiding radio, you're missing out on finding some of the most soul-satisfying music you have ever heard. Radio presenters are the model for someone who has a deep passion and appreciation for new music. In many cases, they will spend hours before shows scouring their sources in order to find the best tracks to satisfy their listeners. Often they have sources within the industry that send them the freshest songs to play on their shows. If you can find a radio show that suits your taste in music, I guarantee you will find music you couldn't possibly have found without their help. I'm based in the UK, so luckily we have BBC Radio 6 Music, a premier music focused radio station where the presenters are dedicated in finding and playing the best new music available. It was through listening to the various shows I was able to find the Huey Show, a weekly show on Saturday morning hosted by former fun-loving Criminals frontman Huey Morgan. I stumbled past Huey's show by accident, but thank God I did. He shares my taste in music to a T, playing the latest disco, punk, hip-hop, funk, dub, Latin and beyond. The show has become a part of my weekly ritual. I may not listen as it's live or even all in one hit, but every week without fail, I tune into the entire show to hear all the great tracks. I can't tell you the amount of tracks I have found, new albums I've enjoyed and the artists I've discovered thanks to this show and the hours of time Huey clearly puts in every week to curating it. If you're also in the UK, check out Radio 6. They have shows for all other kinds of genres including electronic, rock, pop, dance and much more. If you're not in the UK, not to worry, there's a whole host of internet radio stations out there. For example, Dublab out of Los Angeles, NTS Radio out of the UK, Worldwide FM and many more. You can find a station that fits you by googling internet radio and then the genre you enjoy. In the comments let me know which internet radio stations you enjoy and which ones people should check out. My next tip is to take a trip to your local record store. Now I know what you're thinking, oh yeah, typical, the vinyl guy from TikTok saying to listen to records. But hear me out. Record stores are essentially a treasure trove of new music, or new to you anyways. The way most stores are laid out are sometimes by the artist but mostly by genre, so take a look at a genre you enjoy and see what you can find. Maybe there's a genre you've always wanted to explore like jazz or psychedelic rock. This presents the perfect opportunity to check out those sections in the local record store and see what you can find. Now I don't think you need to put too much thought in here. In fact, I encourage you to do the opposite. Go to a section of a genre you want to listen to, have a flick through, pull out a random record and then just go and buy it and listen to it. Maybe just pick a record in the section that has a cool cover. If you want to go a level above here, ask the shopkeeper what they recommend. Tell them what kind of music or artists you enjoy, what you want to discover, and I'm sure they can find you an album you've never heard that you can enjoy. This might seem intimidating to some people, but I assure you that the people who own these record stores are incredibly passionate and knowledgeable about music, and they will cherish the chance to share what they know with someone new. The reason in particular I think it's great to buy a random record is because vinyl forces you to listen to a record from A to B, which is how an artist intended it for it to be listened to. And this brings us to tip 3. Listen to albums all the way through and spend time with the music. I know that sounds incredibly wanky, but it's true. By doing this, you're going on the journey the way the artist intended it. How many times have you listened to a song in isolation and sure, it sounds good, but then you listen through the album it was made on and then it sounds a million times better? This is because you're listening with context. A great example for me is Igor by Tyler the Creator. Listen to any of those songs in isolation and sure, they sound great. It's only when you listen through that it comes together and the songs sound incredible. Take the song Boys a Gun. On its own, it's a cool rap song with a great sample, but in the context of the album, it is a gut-wrenching breakup song that hits hard in the middle of the album. And this brings me on to a little bonus tip. If there's an album that you haven't previously enjoyed, but it's received a lot of love from friends or family or just in general, go and give it another go in this way. Bob Dylan once said, "Art is never finished, only abandoned. But as we abandon it, it continues to evolve, taking on new meanings and interpretations with each passing year." Time has a way of revealing the depth of art that we may have missed in our youth. As we grow older, we relate to new things, so certain elements in music that might have washed over us in our teens can hit so much harder in our 20s and beyond. So go back and revisit some of the albums you might have missed, and I'm sure you will discover something beautiful that you can't believe you missed the first time around.